If you've ever dealt with low libido, weaker erections, numbness, and anxiety around performance, this video is for you. In this video, I'm going to give you the full, no bullshit guide to penis health, how it actually works, what damages it over time, and what you can do starting today to improve performance, sensitivity, confidence, and long-term function. We're not talking about supplements, magic pills, or some awkward bro science. This is about understanding the systems behind blood flow, hormones, nerves, and lifestyle, and how they all connect. Most men wait until something goes wrong to actually care about this. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to protect it, improve it, and avoid the mistakes that silently cause problems years down the line. And one thing I want to be clear about, this is not about being perfect. It's about avoiding the few mistakes that do the most damage and focusing on the small changes that create the biggest upside. So when it comes to maximizing your penis health, we've got two categories. We've got do's and we've got don'ts. I'm going to start off with saying what you should do. So firstly, we have cardio. Cardio is the base of the penis health pyramid. This is because our erections are literally created by blood entering three columns in your penis: the corpus cavernosa and the corpus spongiosum. The corpus cavernosa is the main region which fills up with blood and looks something like this, and the corpus spongiosum runs along the base of the penis. Erections are created when vasodilation occurs, which is where your arteries open up, which allows blood to enter in a faster rate. As the corpus cavernosa fills with blood, it adds pressure against the tunica albuginea, which is basically the casing around it. This basically squeezes the veins shut, and this allows you to maintain an erection. But if our blood flow is bad because our heart isn't strong enough, it means that we aren't going to be able to get enough blood into these tissues to be able to create a stiff erection. This is why sometimes you may feel like you only get like a 50% erection. It's because there isn't enough blood flow. Physical activity guidelines suggest 150 minutes of light to moderate intensity cardio per week. So you want to think about things like walking, cycling, or jogging, or 75 minutes of high intensity cardio. So this is more maximal intensity activities like intense running, sprinting, swimming, rowing, playing sports. The more cardio you do, the better and stronger your heart is going to be at pumping blood around your body. And as a result of this, the stronger and longer lasting your erections are going to be. In this meta-analysis here, it was found that men who were untrained in cardio found a larger benefit when it came to erectile health improvement. If you were to apply a single piece of advice from this video, it should be this: the biggest changes in your sexual performance will come from doing frequent cardio. Next is sleeping 7 to 9 hours per night. So having a short sleep duration can lead to something called vasoconstriction, which is where your arteries go smaller. This is bad and not something we want, as it's going to reduce our blood flow. It's been shown in studies that people who sleep less are more likely to have conditions such as erectile dysfunction. Having poor sleep is going to increase cortisol, which is your stress hormone, and when your body senses stress, it's going to take blood away from your genitals. To combat this, I would suggest having a consistent bedtime routine as best as you can. Implementing a bedtime routine is such a high ROI activity for your daily life, not just for maximizing your penis health. What I would do is aim to reduce your screen exposure 1 to 2 hours before you plan on going to bed, then create a sort of ritual before you sleep. I like to stretch, read a book, and maybe do some praying. It's important you go to bed the same time each night, as sleep consistency is as important as sleep duration and quality. Next up, we have pelvic floor stretches. Chances are you probably don't stretch your muscles enough or at all, and your pelvic floor is no exception. It's a very intricate set of muscles that, if are chronically tense, it's going to make it really hard for you to have a healthy pelvic region, and thus it's going to make it more difficult to have good erections. This study here is a great indicator on how effective pelvic floor management is in improving your erectile health. I'm going to show you all the stretches I do to keep mine healthy. Try to do this every day, twice a day if you can. Next, we have lowering our body fat. Having a high body fat percentage increases your likelihood of hypertension, which is where blood is having to be pushed through your arteries with greater pressure because there is more fatty deposits in your blood vessels. This leads to more struggles with maintaining good erections, as over time, this will reduce your overall blood flow and it's going to lead to damage in your blood vessels. If you're questioning if you need to lose weight, you'll know if you look at yourself and you can visibly see fat around your abdomen, you've got love handles, and you've got fat around your chest area, and it kind of looks like you've got man boobs. If you focus on eating more whole foods consistently, being more disciplined with your overall diet, and stay in a calorie deficit, you will significantly improve your erections. Not only this, but your quality of life will improve. You'll look better, you'll feel better, and you will move better. This study here on the impact of body composition on male sexual function found that visceral fat, represented by the visceral adiposity index, which is a mathematical parameter obtained using waist circumference, BMI, serum triglyceride, and high density lipoprotein levels, was found to be significantly higher in men with ED in comparison to those without ED. Basically, if you have excess fat, it's going to increase your likelihood of suffering erectile issues. Next, we have supplementing L-citrulline. So your body needs this compound called nitric oxide in order to create erections. Nitric oxide helps with vasodilation and blood flow. It is commonly used as a gym pump supplement, but it is also great for promoting penile blood flow. People also recommend to eat watermelon, but I wouldn't really say it's worth it, as the amount of L-citrulline you get from it is relatively negligible. Supplementing this isn't a must. Things like cardio and nasal breathing create nitric oxide, but this can act as a nice little extra bit of padding to your daily routine, and you will notice the difference. You're going to have a much better flaccid hang and an easier time achieving and maintaining erections. Next, we've got meditation. Meditation is going to shift your body into a parasympathetic state, which is your body's relaxation state, and it's an awesome way to calm your body down. This will contribute to vasodilation, which, like we've discussed, helps massively with getting erections. If your body isn't relaxed, then it will have a hard time getting hard. This article published gives us an insight into the benefits that mindfulness plays on sexual activity. They found that daily mindfulness had a positive impact on men's sexual health and erectile function. 10 minutes a day of meditation is a good starting point. The harder you find it to meditate, meaning how hard it is for you to focus, the more you have to gain from it. So here's how you do it. You want to start off by getting comfy, then you want to take some deep breaths into your nose, and you want to feel your belly bulge as you inhale. Then you want to close your eyes, and now you just want to focus on your breath, focusing on breathing in, holding it for a little bit, and then exhaling. Now, the aim is to keep your attention on your breath, and your mind is going to start to distract you with thoughts and randomness and all kinds of chaos, and your aim is to literally just stay focused. You don't want to explore the thoughts, you just want to let them come and go as you focus on your breath until the time runs out. Next up, we've got testosterone. Now, for those of you that don't know, testosterone is your male sex hormone, and it's found more commonly in men than it is in women, with around 95% of it being produced in your testicles. Now, it's responsible for feelings of energy, confidence, increased libido, building muscle, losing fat, and competitiveness in men. It's a really crucial and an often overlooked aspect of penis health. There is some debate on to what extent testosterone plays on erectile function, as discussed here in this article. From what we are shown, there is somewhat a relationship between declining testosterone and poor erectile dysfunction. So if you do have symptoms of low testosterone, things like ED, low energy, low motivation, feeling depressed, having a loss of muscle mass, increased fat storage around your midsection, then I would suggest combating this by cleaning up your diet, eating more whole foods, cutting out processed foods, sleeping properly, like discussed already, lifting weights, reducing your exposure to alcohol and drugs, as well as getting regular sunlight. Consistent implementation of these habits will have a positive knock-on effect to your life. Now we're on to the don't section. Our first don't is watching porn. Now, porn is an interesting one because physically it doesn't affect your body's ability to maintain blood flow. However, there are mental and spiritual consequences to watching porn that you need to be aware of. This study here found a strong link between erectile dysfunction and online pornographic consumption, in that the more someone consumed this type of content, the higher the probabilities became of them suffering erectile issues. So one of the main issues with porn is that it has catastrophic effects on your dopamine system. By watching porn, you are going to bypass the chase that comes with normally having sex with women. You don't have to work on yourself nor attract women. Porn basically lets your body know that it can achieve sexual gratification the way you currently are, and it's going to make it harder for you to make your life better. If you do want real intimacy, you want to have real sex sex and have a real love life, it's best you quit porn. And it's something that I used to really struggle with, and since removing it, my love life has been phenomenal. This study here found that those who watched porn had worse cognition and a harder time controlling their emotions, as well as a slower reaction time in controlled tests. This can be an indication of their dopamine baseline being surpassed, which results in it being harder to function. Next, when it comes to the negatives of porn, is that it's going to turn you into a cuck. Now, when you watch porn over a prolonged period of time, you are actually programming yourself to become aroused at the sight of another man having sex with the woman that you are attracted to. This can become an issue when you actually have sex, because your brain is going to become wired to be aroused by other imagery. You need to think about it like this. You're not going to watch porn if there wasn't a screen. Like, I want you to literally imagine your favourite porno. Now literally just remove the screen. You're not going to be watching it in person. My next point when it comes to porn is that it's going to create mental comparison. Now, porn can create some really weird mental standards that your body expects within the arousal process. If you're used to seeing abnormally large genitals and yours doesn't fall within that range, it can lead to a lot of issues with erections and arousal. My suggestion is to just leave porn. Your life is going to be far better without it. If you struggle with women at the moment, you want to use that energy and that frustration to put back into yourself. Don't waste that energy on pixels on the screen. The porn doesn't care about how bad your life gets, but you will regret not getting rid of it when you reach old age and you're lonely, or if you settle with a partner that you're not really attracted to. Next up is alcohol. Now, alcohol is probably one of the worst things for your health in general. This meta-analysis here found that the relationship between alcohol consumption and erectile dysfunction was in a sort of J-curve, indicating that the more alcohol one consumes per week, the greater the likelihood of erectile dysfunction occurring. They did find, however, that light consumption of alcohol is actually going to help with bodily relaxation and vasodilation, which I think is very interesting. So there is definitely a point of negative returns when it comes to alcohol, so it's best to keep consumption on the lower end of the spectrum, or just to cut it out until there's a special event. I know for some of you, this is going to be tricky. I've got friends who work in London where the culture is very heavily centered around drinking alcohol, but this change might just require an evaluation of your values. Next up, we've got smoking. So smoking of any kind is going to lead to vasoconstriction, and this of course is going to make it harder for blood to flow, and as a result it will be harder for you to get stronger erections. Smoking is also going to contribute to the damage of your blood vessels. It does this through some of the chemicals that is found in tobaccos, and these damage the walls of your arteries, therefore making it harder for blood to actually flow. Now, don't try and be smart around this by replacing cigarettes with vapes or even weed. This stuff is all going to contribute in the same way. Now, this study here found that smoking had a similar J-curve like alcohol. The more an individual performed the activity, the greater the chances of them having erectile problems were. They also found that time frame played a role in this, finding that the longer someone had been smoking for, the greater the effect of erectile dysfunction there was. This shows the role of not just intensity but also duration, which indicates that long-term damage to the blood vessels is something which is likely going to occur as a result of smoking for many years. Similar to alcohol, the closer you can get to removing it from your life, the better it will be for your health. Next up, we have having a processed diet. So highly processed diets that include a lot of refined sugars, grains, things like seed oils are really bad for your health, as they tend to offer very little in the way of nutrients, and they cause a lot of inflammation. You need to see nutrients as mini buffs. So similar to how you would in a video game, you may get a 10% increase in your stamina. Nutrients are going to act in the same way, and you need to be stacking them. With processed foods, we don't really get this. It's also easy for us to overeat foods like this, so this can lead to becoming overweight. If you avoid processed foods and add nutrient-dense whole foods, your body will be functioning better as a whole. The food you eat supports your body, and if your body functions better, it means the functions of the body will be better, meaning that you are more likely to have stronger erections. Like we've seen with other studies on losing weight, tightening up your diet is going to help with weight loss, which will have a positive knock-on effect to your health, not just erections. Next up, we've got stress. Now, stress occurs as a reaction to keep your body safe, and it's governed by the hormones cortisol, adrenaline, and noradrenaline. A lot of people, without even knowing it, have what we call chronic stress. This is where these hormones are chronically elevated, and this is going to bring some major issues if your goal is to keep your penis health to a maximum. If you have long working hours, have a busy schedule, or if life is just a bit hectic, your body can be placed into a sympathetic state chronically, and this will undoubtedly make it harder to have solid erections. This is because your sympathetic state is the fight part of the fight or flight reaction. And in this state, your body is going to be focusing on driving blood flow to other areas of your body, like your legs. You have to think, if your body feels threatened, it would be stupid for it to send blood down to your penis. Stress is an interesting one because we do need it. However, because of the way society is laid out, oftentimes it's quite hard to get that balance between work and relaxation. If you don't allow for your body to frequently relax, it will constantly be tense. So things that can cause excess stress are poor sleep, too much alcohol, long working hours, poor diet, lack of hydration, emotional distress, and overstimulation. You need to find a way to allow your body to chill out. This is your parasympathetic state, and it's crucial that you enter this. Ways to reduce your stress are having a clean diet, walking, sunlight, nature, meditation, prayer, spending quality time with people you like, being near a dog, and avoiding screens. I know that is so easy to get caught up in the loop of working, but taking some time away and letting your body chill out is one of the best things that you can do for your health, not just your erections. By basically living healthy, eating real food, drinking enough water, exercising, sleeping well, you're ticking off a lot of boxes here. At the end of the day, this isn't about one thing, it's about your overall health. When you take care of your body, your sexual health is usually one of the first things to improve. The science backs that up, and that's why I wanted to approach it in this way. You don't need perfection, you just need consistency with the fundamentals. If you're interested in leveling yourself up and want to join other guys who have done the same, click the link in the description. If this video was helpful, like the video, subscribe for more evidence-based health content, and I will see you in the next one.